that man loves me so much. And, look what we built. We've built a beautiful life and we have two healthy, beautiful children.
February 13th, 2026, Buckingham Palace drops a bombshell. No more silence, no more spin. On this dramatic day, the palace unleashed an emergency statement that shook global media to its core. For the first time in years, the Crown hit back hard against what royal insiders are calling Meghan Markle's global meltdown campaign. Behind the glamorous headlines, chaos brewed, a storm of accusations, half-veiled threats, and bitter blame games targeting the monarchy, all while Meghan faced an unprecedented wave of bans on her commercial and creative projects around the world. This wasn't just another palace statement, this was a royal counterstrike. Since the Sussexes' explosive 2020 exit, Buckingham Palace has largely kept quiet, but not this time. Officials slammed Meghan's claims as baseless and reckless, calling out the ripple effect of her behavior that's now crashing into diplomatic, economic, and reputational fronts, stretching from Dubai to France, from Canada to every corner where royal influence still matters. At the center of the uproar is one fiery claim from Meghan's camp, that the royal family allegedly launched a 10-day operation to destroy her career between February 2nd and 12th, 2026. But while those words echoed online, reality hit fast. Meghan's global brand crumbled before everyone's eyes. 4 powerhouse nations reportedly moved to shut down her ventures, either through official bans or quiet blacklists whispered behind polished boardroom doors. Now, let's be clear. These aren't criminal penalties, but serious industry and government actions tied to trade, cultural, and media codes. Officials cited breaches of trust, misuse of royal imagery, and questionable conduct that shook confidence across entire sectors. And right in the middle of it all, on February 3rd, the United Arab Emirates Ministry of Culture and Economy made its move, sending shockwaves through the industry that no one saw coming. It all started with a stunning move. The UAE's Ministry of Culture and Economy officially revoked licenses linked to Meghan's wellness and fashion line as ever. The reason? Misrepresentation of national affiliations on branding material, violations of strict GCC rules on political neutrality, and unregistered offshore cash flows routed through influencer-based promo schemes. That's not just bad optics, it's a regulatory nightmare. Then came February 6th, another major blow. The Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, and the British Columbia Film Board dropped twin bombshells, suspending all collaboration with Arch Media Canada. Their statements cited missing filings under Canada's non-resident artistic entity laws, suspected undisclosed foreign payments, and incomplete intellectual property records. It wasn't just paperwork, it looked like a full-blown compliance mess. By the end of that week, the dominoes kept falling fast. CBC, Netflix Canada, and Rogers Media all confirmed they were pulling back from ongoing collaborations. And just 2 days later, on February 8th, France jumped into the storm. Haute Autorité de la Communication (HC) confirmed non-renewal notices were sent to Vogue France, which had been prepping a splashy April 2026 cover featuring Meghan. Meanwhile, LVMH quietly killed off a rumored fragrance partnership before it could even launch. Luxury giants Chanel and Hermès also made subtle but sharp moves, pulling every Meghan-linked lookbook from circulation. In Asia, both Singapore and Japan began internal reviews of As Ever candle and lifestyle product licenses. Major retailers like Isetan Tokyo and Tang Singapore swiftly scrubbed her products from flagship shelves. Even watchdog groups Art Compliance Asia and the European Independent Ethical Fashion Bureau (IEFB) stepped in, launching investigations into what's now being called the biggest brand collapse of the decade. Watchdogs have now officially flagged As Ever and Arkwell-affiliated projects for potential deceptive marketing. Regulators say Meghan's ventures blurred the line between personal branding, royal aesthetics, and global profit schemes, a cocktail of controversy that's now blowing up across multiple continents. Then came the night of February 10th, and things went nuclear. Meghan's chief communications advisor, Rena Walsh, dropped a shocking 2-minute video across Instagram, Threads, and Spotify titled "The Targeting of a Woman Who Tried to Make Change." The clip lit up social media within minutes. In the video, Meghan declared, "This is not about paperwork or permits. This is about power." She accused unnamed forces of running a global campaign, from London to Dubai to Ottawa, designed to erase her professionally, culturally, and personally. Without naming names, she made a thinly veiled jab at Prince William, hinting at those whose future depends on silence, and accused the same firm that embraced my smile and now weaponizes my existence. The tone was fierce, emotional, and defiant, and it sent the internet into chaos. Alongside her video, Meghan's team released a detailed PDF fact sheet packed with receipts, canceled magazine covers, rejected licensing bids, ignored calls from past sponsors, all laid out as proof of her claims. But the part that truly set everything ablaze came at the end. In her explosive closing paragraph, she alleged that private conversations and private threats had been passed around from powerful offices, and she warned, "I've respected boundaries, but I won't let anyone rewrite my story, even if it means showing what they've tried to bury, including what happened in RAI summer 2016. That final reference hit like a thunderclap. Insiders say the allusion to RES summer 2016 sent shockwaves through royal intelligence circles, marking the exact moment when the gloves officially came off. Things spiraled even further when Meghan's camp appeared to drop a massive insinuation claiming they had unpublished photos of Prince William, allegedly taken aboard a private Mediterranean yacht. The suggestion? Possible misconduct. But that bold hint didn't last long before the palace fired back with undeniable receipts. Within just hours of the claim hitting social media, Kensington Palace moved with lightning speed. By February 11th, the palace had gone into full damage control mode. Prince James of Edinburgh, now nicknamed the Fire Marshal inside royal circles since Prince Harry's exit, personally led a confidential briefing with top UK political editors. What he brought to the table was explosive in its own right, a notarized travel itinerary, proving that Prince William was nowhere near the Mediterranean during that time. According to the verified documents, William was in Kenya from July 10th to 22nd, 2016, attending a United Nations Environmental Summit in Nairobi. The evidence was airtight. Kenyan diplomatic logs, hotel CCTV footage, and daily press clippings all backed up his presence in Africa every single day of that disputed period. Even more, MI5's Royal Security Directorate released an independent verification stating there was no deviation from his official schedule. That level of transparency left no room for debate. Then came February 13th, 2026, the day the palace decided enough was enough. Buckingham Palace dropped its most powerful and coordinated statement in years, broadcast across every royal communication channel. The official message read, "The Crown categorically denies all allegations of interference in international, commercial, or cultural decisions regarding Ms. Meghan Markle. Furthermore, we reject the false and defamatory insinuations of any past misconduct by His Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales. Fabricated threats, reputational extortion, and the strategic manipulation of personal grievances cannot and will not be tolerated. The royal household remains committed to transparency, neutrality, and the protection of its constitutional integrity." It was a thunderous royal rebuttal, sharp, direct, and impossible to ignore. The royal response didn't stop with words, it came armed with evidence. The palace doubled down, declaring that no member of the royal family had ever tried to influence licensing, regulatory, or cultural decisions made by any sovereign nation. Attached to that powerful statement were sworn affidavits, verified travel logs, and precise timelines, signaling the end of the Crown's usual behind-the-scenes diplomacy. This was no soft rebuttal, it was a full-force public defense, unlike anything seen in decades. Behind the commanding tone of the February 13th declaration stood a master plan, a fast, legally airtight strategy designed to shut this saga down once and for all. The brains behind it, Sir Malcolm Wessex, the royal family's hard-nosed chief legal counsel, and Prince James of Edinburgh, who's now regarded as the Windsor family's institutional guardian since Prince Harry's departure. These two weren't just responding, they were taking control. The moment Meghan's February 10th video dropped, complete with veiled threats and that now infamous reference to Bailey Eric 2016, Sir Malcolm wasted no time. He summoned a high-security legal summit inside the royal chambers of Clarence House, and what happened inside was straight out of a political thriller. Around the grand mahogany table sat heavyweights from the Crown Prosecution Service, top cybersecurity experts from GCHQ scanning for possible data leaks, and two senior envoys from the Foreign Office tasked with assessing the international fallout. Their mission was razor-sharp. First, dismantle the legal foundation of Meghan's claims. Second, protect the royal family's institutional dignity at all costs. The operation's goal was simple but bold: neutralize any hint of reputational blackmail before it could gain traction on the global stage. Acting with precision, Sir Malcolm personally authorized a pre-litigation notice to Meghan Markle's US-based legal team on February 11th. The letter demanded a full retraction of every published or circulated statement implying royal involvement in diplomatic or economic interference, plus immediate disclosure of any so-called photographic evidence mentioned in her Bailey Eric reference. The Crown wasn't just defending itself anymore, it was making a statement loud and clear. This time, the monarchy was fighting back. The palace's ultimatum was crystal clear. Meghan had until February 14th to provide a written clarification regarding her Eric 2016 claim, including all related metadata. If she failed to comply, formal defamation suits would be filed in both the UK and Canadian courts. The inclusion of Canada wasn't random, it was a strategic strike. Senior palace insiders revealed that part of Meghan's ongoing commercial collapse traced directly to Ontario, where entities linked to Arco L Foundation Canada, a division now under active CRA audit, were operating. By connecting those dots, Sir Malcolm Wessex effectively built a legal bridge tying Meghan's business troubles to her own accusations of royal sabotage. If she kept pushing her narrative, it would mean testifying under oath across 2 countries, a dangerous gamble. Sir Malcolm had drawn the line, and this time, it came with serious legal teeth. While Malcolm handled the courtroom groundwork, Prince James of Edinburgh took charge of the public side with his trademark precision. Known for his no-nonsense leadership and sharp command of protocol, James personally managed the release of Prince William's 2016 travel records, hosted a private off-camera session with select royal correspondents at Lancaster House, and authorized the publication of internal audit memos proving that no royal funds were ever funneled to any foreign regulator or government agency tied to Meghan Markle. In one briefing, James reportedly told aides, "When silence is weaponized, the antidote is evidence." That line instantly went viral and solidified his growing reputation as the palace firewall. Since Prince Harry's departure from active royal duties, James has quietly stepped into the role of the monarchy's chief protector, the one ensuring the institution stays unshaken amid global scrutiny. Now, with this powerful legal and institutional stance in place, Meghan finds herself trapped between 2 stark choices: withdraw her claims or face full-scale litigation across 2 continents. The palace has drawn its battle lines, and this time, it's playing for keeps. From Paris to Vancouver, from the Gulf to the Pacific, Meghan's phone has gone silent. No one's picking up anymore. By the time Buckingham Palace released its fierce February 13th statement, Meghan Markle's global reputation, both as a businesswoman and as an artistic brand, was already in freefall. What started as faint whispers of regulatory tension had exploded into a full-blown blackout across entire industries: fashion, luxury goods, digital media, and wellness retail. This wasn't just government intervention, it was the industry turning its back. On the surface, each corporate retreat looked casual or coincidental. One brand quietly chose not to renew a deal, another delayed an ad campaign, a third blamed creative differences. But behind the glossy PR lines, Royal Confidential has uncovered a very different truth. According to insider memos and private correspondence, these weren't random decisions, they were calculated acts of distance, not collusion, but coordinated self-preservation. The unraveling began on February 6th, when Vogue France abruptly scrapped Meghan's highly anticipated April 2026 cover, even though the entire photo shoot had wrapped weeks earlier. The domino effect was brutal. At LVMH, senior executives reportedly voted to pull the plug on an exploratory branding deal, citing reputational unpredictability. Chanel, once open to a fragrance collaboration under Meghan's As Ever label, issued a subtle but firm legal clarification. No ongoing contract or commercial relationship exists with Miss Markle. That quiet statement said it all. Across the Atlantic, the fallout spread quickly. In Canada, Legal Grounds Artistic Council confirmed their withdrawal from ongoing media partnerships. Netflix Canada, which had co-produced several Arco L audio wellness features, officially axed a planned docuseries on wellness and reinvention, blaming licensing conflicts. Meanwhile, Rogers Media and CBC Gem slapped embargoes on redistributing Meghan's past content, effectively freezing her visibility in the Canadian media scene. By mid-February, the message from every corner of the industry was loud and undeniable. Meghan Markle's brand had become untouchable. Everything came crashing down faster than anyone expected. After the Archwell Foundation Canada got flagged in a CRA audit, major institutions started quietly cutting ties. On February 5th, the Canadian Council for Artistic Integrity placed Meghan on its unendorsed list. That title might sound mild, but in reality it's career-crushing. It blocks access to government grants and makes booking venues nearly impossible. For a public figure trying to rebuild her image, it was a devastating hit. The wave didn't stop there. In Asia, both Singapore and Tokyo's Time Trade Authority confirmed to regulators that all As Ever products had been removed from their stores, both physical shelves and online marketplaces, by February 7th. Internal compliance memos reviewed by Asia Export Journal revealed why. Meghan's brand was now flagged as a risk of reputational confusion because of its use of British royal motifs. In short, her branding blurred the line between personal style and royal heritage, and regulators weren't having it. But the biggest blow came straight out of the Gulf. On February 3rd, Dubai's Ministry of Culture and Economy invoked Article 9 of the UAE Foreign Branding Act, slapping a complete ban on Meghan's commercial ventures. The ruling declared her wellness and fragrance promotions in violation of the country's strict political neutrality standards. A confidential memo later leaked to Gulf Media Group painted a clearer picture. Meghan's use of royal imagery paired with political messaging was seen as undermining the balance between culture and commerce that Dubai fiercely protects. Insiders familiar with the discussions admitted off the record, it's not just that Meghan brings bad press, it's that she keeps crossing the line between celebrity royalty and political provocation. By mid-February, it was clear what began as scattered restrictions had turned into a full-scale global retreat from the Markle brand. One luxury brand CEO summed it up perfectly. "We work with actresses, philanthropists, even controversial influencers. But when government ministers start asking if we vetted our collaborators' geopolitical affiliations, we walk." That quote echoed through every major fashion house from Milan to New York. A top European talent agent didn't hold back either, saying she's a triple risk: legal, reputational, and institutional. It's not that the industry suddenly turned on Meghan out of hate, it's fear. Executives are terrified of being caught in what one insider called a constitutional crossfire. No brand wants to end up tangled between royal politics, government scrutiny, and social media outrage. According to Royal Confidential, this massive shift against Meghan came from three powerful triggers. First, the unsealed Epstein files released on January 27th, which, while not criminally implicating her, included unsettling mentions of individuals once connected to Meghan's early social network. The implications were enough to make high-end boardrooms panic. Then came February 2nd, when the Arco-L Foundation's Canadian audit went public, exposing suspicious gaps between reported grants and actual promotional spending. That revelation threw financial credibility into question, and investors hate uncertainty. But the final spark that set everything ablaze was Meghan's February 10th video statement, where she accused unnamed palace insiders of orchestrating her professional downfall. The thinly veiled references to Prince William and the mysterious Bailey Eric files made it look to many executives like reckless blackmail tactics. One risk analyst told Royal Confidential, "After that video, even neutral companies started backing off. It was just too dangerous to touch." By mid-February, the fallout was complete. Risk managers across multiple sectors had declared Meghan Markle uninsurable from a brand perspective. Even once supportive media started pulling away, People magazine quietly canceled a planned Valentine's Day feature, marking a symbolic end to her once glamorous media chapter. Even the media that once boosted Meghan's every move has started to turn. The New York Times style section, which proudly covered her candle launch back in December 2025, published a sharply worded piece criticizing celebrity wellness brands. It didn't name her directly, but readers caught the hint instantly when her line was described as aromatically confusing and ethically blurred. That subtle jab spoke volumes. Then came another blow. Vanity Fair, once one of Meghan's most loyal outlets, abruptly swapped a planned full-page feature for a last-minute Fashion Week recap. To insiders, that move was more than just scheduling. It was a signal. The magazine that had helped build her image was now quietly stepping away. What's happening isn't just a fall from grace, it's a systemic uncoupling. Meghan Markle has gone from media darling to public liability, not because of a single legal scandal, but because her name alone now attracts scrutiny, tension, and risk. Across entertainment, commerce, and culture, the message is the same. Association with her now comes with consequences. Rumors have circulated of an alleged message from Meghan herself, reportedly sent on February 11, 2026, saying, "If I go down, I'm taking someone with me." Whether true or not, that line spread like wildfire and set off alarm bells everywhere, from PR agencies to royal advisors. As the walls closed in on her brand empire, Meghan's strategy shifted dramatically. What started as a defensive stance has turned into all-out escalation, a high-stakes, scorched-earth campaign filled with hints of secret archives, personal files, and alleged evidence that could implicate senior royals, especially Prince William. But sources inside Buckingham Palace, along with allied legal and diplomatic figures, tell Royal Confidential a very different story. According to them, the monarchy already mapped her playbook, and they're 3 steps ahead. Her February 10th statement, where she made that cryptic reference to what happened in ritzy summer 2016, sent chills through royal observers. She didn't name names, but the meaning was clear. Many saw it as a thinly veiled threat aimed directly at Prince William. The tension between the palace and Meghan had now crossed from media drama into a silent war of reputations. The real storm broke when insiders claimed Meghan was hinting at possessing compromising material, photos or files supposedly tied to a 2016 yacht trip said to involve several well-known public figures. According to multiple sources, including 2 former members of Meghan's pre-Arkwell media team, there's long been talk of a mysterious digital collection, a private database internally nicknamed the Archive or the Contingency Folder. Those who claim to have seen it describe it as a carefully guarded stash containing dozens of high-resolution images from exclusive European events between 2013 and 2016, private voice recordings from early Arkwell meetings, and internal royal prep sessions. Even more alarming are alleged emails with anonymous correspondents discussing media insurance strategies, the kind of backup plans someone might keep just in case they ever felt cornered. One former staffer who signed a strict 2018 NDA but spoke anonymously offered chilling insight. She always believed the palace would turn on her eventually. That's why she built the archive for the day she needed leverage. But while the rumors sounded explosive, senior palace aides seemed oddly calm. Why? Because sources say they've already seen or neutralized most of it. The so-called leverage may have already lost its sting. Just 36 hours after Meghan's statement hinting at exposure, Prince James of Edinburgh struck back with surgical precision. On February 11th, he authorized the public release of Prince William's full 2016 diplomatic itinerary, proving without question that William was in Kenya, not the Mediterranean during the alleged Bailey-Eric timeframe. The file wasn't just a list of dates, it came stacked with certified flight logs between London and Nairobi, UN summit schedules, and press photographs showing William at multiple public events. Even the Kenyan Ministry of the Environment stepped in, issuing a statement confirming his joint appearances at official meetings and site visits. The palace's message was clear and thunderous. If Meghan's archive was meant as a threat, it had already been disarmed. You can't be at a yacht party in Spain while simultaneously shaking hands with UN delegates in Kenya, scoffed royal security analyst David Merriman, slicing through the rumor with one brutal line. His words captured the sentiment across royal circles. The palace's swift, fact-based counterattack had disarmed the entire yacht narrative before it could even explode. But that wasn't the end of the palace's counteroffensive. Since early 2024, the royal household has quietly built a powerful internal unit known as the Digital Contingency Group, DCG, a top-secret hybrid team of former MI5 agents, GCHQ cyber analysts, Royal Archive security specialists, and digital legal technologists. Their mission? To track, verify, and neutralize any emerging threat tied to blackmail, data leaks, or digital manipulation targeting the monarchy. A classified briefing prepared in January 2026 and later partially verified by Royal Confidential revealed that DCG had been meticulously mapping Meghan's so-called information assets. The report allegedly divided her files into categories: inadmissible personal data, unverifiable images, hearsay-based claims, and digitally altered content. It also flagged privately recorded audio that could violate both GDPR and US wiretap laws. Worse still, several countries have now begun treating Meghan's private archive as a potential international legal breach, especially if any of it is released with intent to damage public figures or government-linked institutions. In short, what she once saw as protection could easily become evidence against her. Sir Malcolm Wessex, the royal family's iron-fisted chief legal counsel, put it bluntly in a recent closed-door briefing. Possessing questionable material is one matter. Distributing it for coercive or reputational purposes crosses into criminal territory. His words carried weight and a clear warning. Yet, despite those risks, sources claim Meghan may be toying with the idea of a controlled media leak, a dramatic Substack drop authored by a former associate. The alleged project? A ghost-written memoir titled Unseen and Unbounded, said to chronicle her early struggles, royal experiences, and untold secrets. If true, the move could ignite another international firestorm, testing how far she's willing to go and how ready the palace is to strike back again. Behind closed doors, palace strategists are already moving to bury Meghan's rumored tell-all appearance, reportedly planned for late March 2026. Whispers inside the media world suggest the interview could air on either Al Jazeera or Rai 1, both networks operating outside Ofcom's jurisdiction, meaning the palace would have little control once the cameras start rolling. According to insiders, Meghan's aim isn't outright destruction of the monarchy, it's something more cunning. She allegedly wants to expose royal hypocrisy while recasting herself as a suppressed truth-teller. A leaked message reportedly sent from her press advisor to a former Vanity Fair editor summed it up chillingly. She's not trying to burn the crown, she's just going to make sure it smells like smoke. That quote sent shivers through royal communications teams. In response, the royal household has already kicked its global defense plan into gear. Cyber monitoring divisions have begun tracking digital platforms for leaks linked to Meghan's inner circle, while urgent legal injunctions are being filed in the UK, Canada, and across the EU to block any unauthorized releases of royal-related content. At the same time, Prince James of Edinburgh is spearheading a media counter-campaign focused on transparency, dignity, and legal restraint. A public reminder that the palace is fighting back with evidence, not emotion. But the stakes are sky-high. Multiple legal sources confirm that if Meghan or any associate proceeds with the release of blackmail-adjacent materials, she could trigger international criminal cooperation under cross-border coercion and digital sabotage statutes. That means real legal consequences, and not just in one country. One palace insider summed it up perfectly. They've switched from reactive to proactive. The Windsor firewall is up. If she lights the match, she'll be the one holding the smoke. And that's where the tension stands as of February 13, 2026, the moment Meghan reached for the match and the entire world seemed to take a step back. As Meghan Markle ramps up her increasingly confrontational approach toward the British royal family, mixing veiled blackmail, public blame, and whispered threats about her private archives, the backlash has exploded. The very people who once stood by her side are now stepping away fast. What was once a circle of cautious loyalty and quiet sympathy has transformed into strategic silence, abrupt contract cuts, and industry-wide distancing from anything tied to her name. And this retreat isn't just coming from governments or royal institutions anymore, it's spreading through Hollywood, fashion, charities, and even her old friend circles. Between 2020 and 2024, Meghan sat comfortably inside a golden network of influence across Los Angeles and New York. She had the backing of Netflix, Spotify, Oprah Winfrey's media powerhouse, and countless progressive filmmakers and producers. They saw her as a survivor, a reformer, a woman reshaping her own story. But now, that golden circle is cracking wide open and in public. The first major tremor hit on February 8th when Netflix Global officially confirmed that the long-rumored Pearl animated series originally canceled in 2022 but briefly revived through RTWell's Canadian branch was dead for good. One insider from the streaming giant didn't mince words, telling Variety, once the allegations of cross-border influence and government scrutiny came up, legal pulled every plug. We're not risking subpoenas over candle sales and veiled threats. That quote said everything, the trust was gone. But the fallout didn't stop there. Even Oprah Winfrey's Harpo Studios, once one of Meghan's strongest allies, quietly scrubbed all Markle-related projects from its 2026 production slate. A senior producer reportedly told Variety, "We loved her story, but this level of controversy isn't compatible with our brand anymore." It's a stunning reversal, a complete collapse of the support system that once shielded her from criticism. Meghan Markle's Hollywood safety net isn't just fraying, it's disappearing, one contract at a time. This is no longer the story of empowerment that once defined Meghan Markle, it's the story of obsession and a full-scale reputational collapse. The tension has reached Hollywood's unions, and they're not staying quiet. In a joint memo, advisory panels from both the Writers Guild of America (WGA) and SAG-AFTRA warned members about potential ethical exposure if they participate in Meghan's rumored memoir or upcoming docuseries, especially if legal action from the British monarchy moves forward. Then came a stunning professional blow. Meghan's powerful literary agent at WME, William Morris Endeavor, was abruptly dropped on February 9th. No press statement, no farewell tweet, just a quiet disappearance from WME's internal representation portal. Industry insiders confirmed that her client account is now listed as inactive. For someone once courted by every major agency in Hollywood, this was a brutal signal. Meghan was no longer considered a safe bet. But the fallout isn't confined to entertainment, it's bleeding into her humanitarian image too. World Central Kitchen (WCK), one of Meghan and Harry's most celebrated charity partners, issued a polite but pointed statement on February 10th, thanking RQL for past donations but clarifying that there are no current projects or future partnerships planned. The message was crystal clear, distance had officially been established. Even SmartWorks UK, once hailed as Meghan's most authentic charity collaboration, quietly removed all references to their 2019-2021 partnership from their 2026 strategic plan. Insiders described the decision as an internal brand protection move, made out of concern for maintaining neutrality amid escalating royal disinformation disputes. And the erasure didn't stop there. Though Meghan was never an official UN ambassador, her image had featured prominently in several UN women campaigns until now. As of February 12th, her likeness has been scrubbed from all active web pages and digital media kits connected to the organization. Once a global symbol of modern philanthropy, Meghan Markle is now facing a harsh new reality. Her name, her image, and her influence are being quietly erased from every platform she once dominated. A spokesperson from one global nonprofit made the palace's message clear, stating, "Our campaigns must remain impartial and free of geopolitical entanglements." That single line perfectly captured the growing chill around Meghan Markle's brand. Even her closest allies are stepping back. Meghan's once glittering inner circle, which included Serena Williams, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Chrissy Teigen, and Tyler Perry, has gone completely silent since her February 10th video statement. None of them have reposted, endorsed, or even commented on her claims or accusations. The quiet is deafening. According to data from InfluenceTrack, a top social media analytics firm, engagement on Meghan's February 10th post was down 42% compared to her 2024 RQL anniversary post. And while her cryptic Bailey Eric quote was screenshot and shared thousands of times by royal watchers and gossip pages, most verified celebrity accounts refused to touch it. One former Hollywood publicist summed it up bluntly, "When the algorithm smells scandal, brands vanish. But when the scandal mixes royalty and blackmail, silence becomes policy." That statement now defines Meghan's new reality: isolation by design. The corporate world is taking the same stance. Better Up, the mental health startup long associated with Prince Harry, issued a direct statement confirming that Meghan is not and has never been affiliated with the company. Meanwhile, Sephora in both Singapore and Canada removed all as-ever products and publicly confirmed they have no plans to restock. Even digital platforms are pulling the plug. Pinterest and Etsy have both blocked paid ads promoting Meghan-branded prints after receiving complaints about false royal endorsements. And in a final blow, Blue Ivy Ventures, the parent company behind a proposed Meghan-linked skincare collaboration, quietly filed an internal withdrawal clause, citing material reputational volatility. In simple terms, the world that once lined up to collaborate with Meghan Markle is now sprinting in the opposite direction. Every partnership, every friendship, every corporate tie is vanishing, leaving behind one brutal truth: her influence is collapsing faster than anyone imagined. What's driving all these sudden exits isn't some royal conspiracy, it's self-preservation. Industry leaders, charity boards, and media partners aren't uniting in a vendetta, they're reacting to professional risk. Multiple executives and former collaborators told Royal Confidential that the real breaking point wasn't the Epstein file rumors or even the Canadian audit. It was Meghan's bold decision to accuse the palace of orchestrating global sabotage and, worse, to hint she might retaliate using her so-called unreleased archives. One charity board member explained it perfectly. Once you even suggest dragging the Prince of Wales through the mud to save your brand, no one wants to be copied on your emails anymore. That one sentence summed up the sentiment rippling through every boardroom. Meghan had crossed from controversial to radioactive, and the tension isn't just coming from the outside. Inside royal and family circles, pressure is reportedly building at home. Palace insiders and longtime friends of the royals revealed that Prince Harry has refused to endorse or publicly support any of Meghan's recent statements. He didn't repost her February 10th video, didn't comment, and was noticeably absent from a scheduled RQL Canada call on February 11th. According to close sources, Harry has instead sought private consultations with King Charles and Prince Edward to discuss constitutional and custodial clarifications, a phrase that's raising eyebrows among royal watchers. Insiders say his silence isn't neutral, it's strategic distance. This growing quiet between the couple might signal something deeper, a final fracture in the Sussex household's once united front. Meghan, who was once celebrated as a People's Princess 2.0, now faces a devastating reversal of fortune, not because of any trial or legal ruling, but because she crossed an invisible line of institutional integrity. In the end, the palace didn't have to destroy Meghan Markle, the system simply closed ranks and let her reputation implode on its own. The world around her is doing it by choosing not to stand next to her. This is not silence, this is sovereignty. That powerful line came from Prince James of Edinburgh, and it summed up everything about the royal family's stance. As dawn broke over London on February 13, 2026, the message from Buckingham Palace was unmistakable. No more tolerance, no more ambiguity, no more restraint. That morning, an official declaration was released, co-signed by Sir Malcolm Wessex, the royal family's chief legal advisor, and Prince James himself. But this wasn't just a rebuttal of Meghan Markle's accusations, it was a constitutional line drawn in stone. With that statement, the palace didn't just answer Meghan, it sealed off any remaining path for reconciliation. The declaration introduced a bold new policy, informally named by aides as the Windsor Boundary Doctrine. This framework laid out strict new measures, full institutional detachment from Meghan Markle effective February 13, 2026. Mandatory legal review of all Sussex-adjacent content, merchandise, and media for violations of royal imagery or sovereign symbolism. Automatic referral of any new or unverified accusations involving the monarchy to the Royal Household Legal Division, ready to pursue litigation across the UK, EU, and Canadian jurisdictions if necessary. Though the document's public tone was polished and diplomatic, insiders revealed it quietly activated a classified internal operation codenamed Echo Fence. Managed by the Royal Security and Intelligence Liaison Office, the operation is designed to monitor all public communications and media output linked to Meghan Markle, even through third-party producers or affiliates. Echo Fence's objectives are sharp: prevent the foreign political weaponization of Meghan's narrative, flag any potential data leaks or misappropriations, and prepare emergency briefings for Parliament if diplomatic complications emerge. By nightfall, the full scope of the Windsor Boundary Doctrine had sunk in. This wasn't just about defending the monarchy's reputation, it was about locking down the institution's sovereignty once and for all. The palace had drawn its final boundary in full daylight, and for Meghan Markle, that boundary now looked more like a wall. The fallout has now entered the legal battlefield. Formal filings have been drawn up by the Royal Legal Liaison Office, working hand-in-hand with the Canadian Office of Cultural Commerce to investigate Meghan Markle's lobbying activities connected to Arkwell. At the same time, the UK Serious Fraud Office has launched a review of As Ever's financial and export structures, focusing on any British-linked revenue streams that might raise compliance red flags. Meanwhile, powerhouse law firm Clifford Chance LLP has been officially authorized to pursue potential libel and false attribution claims if Meghan dares to move forward with publishing any of her so-called archival materials. One palace legal advisor made the tone clear. The tolerance buffer has expired. The moment she accused the royal family of unethical interference across sovereign nations, she became a matter of state, not of family. That single statement drew the line between personal drama and constitutional defense. This crisis, while chaotic, has unified the senior royals like never before. Though King Charles continues to maintain a formal public distance, sources confirm that behind the scenes he has delegated strategic authority to 3 trusted family members. Princess Anne has been tasked with overseeing institutional integrity reviews across royal charities and Commonwealth partnerships. Prince Edward has been instructed to coordinate directly with the Cabinet Office on upcoming media interactions involving former royal affiliates. And Prince William, now firmly positioned as the face of modern monarchy renewal, has been given full autonomy to speak publicly, retaliate legally, or initiate structural distancing measures whenever necessary. According to senior aides, William's private remarks were crystal clear and final. He reportedly said, "We did not destroy Meghan Markle, we refused to be destroyed by her." Now, with major nations, global industries, and even former allies turning their backs, Meghan Markle faces isolation by attrition, a slow, quiet shutout that's tightening by the day. Even her much-hyped memoir, Unseen and Unbounded, has hit a wall, rejected by 3 international publishers who now view the project as too risky to touch. For Meghan, the silence around her isn't just personal, it's professional exile in motion. After the palace's final warning, Meghan Markle's professional world has gone ice-cold. No international PR firm will touch her brand without airtight liability disclaimers in place. Sources close to her Los Angeles legal team reveal that they're now weighing a complete rebrand under a new name, an attempt to dodge ongoing subpoenas connected to As Ever and Archewell Canada. But things just got even more serious. 2 former Archewell board members have reportedly begun cooperating with independent regulatory reviews in both the EU and the UAE, and their testimony could force Meghan into a multi-country legal defense battle before spring even arrives. In just 11 days, Meghan Markle's story has turned from global triumph to total turmoil, from a woman with worldwide influence in fashion, philanthropy, and media to someone facing 4 international suspensions, 2 pending audits, 1 royal lawsuit, and 0 strategic allies. What remains of her power now is only her voice, but even that is fading under the crushing weight of failed influence, fractured loyalty, and relentless legal precision. A former UK ambassador summed it up with brutal honesty. Meghan miscalculated. She believed the palace would always stay silent, but they didn't, and when the monarchy speaks, the world listens. The House of Windsor has now made its stance unshakably clear. You may leave the monarchy, but you may not weaponize it. Those words echo louder than any press statement, a quiet but final warning wrapped in royal steel. As Meghan retreats into silence and legal consultation, the palace stands calm, collected, and unrelenting, having reclaimed control not just of the narrative but of the legacy itself. And so ends this chapter of the Sussex saga, not with a public showdown or courtroom spectacle, but with the cold, commanding authority of a crown that refused to bend. If you've been following this unfolding royal drama, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice keeps this conversation alive, and the next twist might be closer than anyone expects.